When we were kids, you can ask Fina. Fina here, when we were kids, we never saw Zwarte Piet as racist. You pick and choose what you want to have on display regarding our history. If you want to remind us of slavery and the dehumanization of our race, then portray it correctly. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for all your love and support. It means so much to me, okay? Okay guys, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about a very sensitive topic here in the Netherlands in this present day and time. We're going to be talking about the Sinterklaas celebration and Zwarte Piet, okay? guys, I'm going to give a little bit of disclaimer before we get into this video, because this video is not about me sharing my own personal opinion about the Sinterklaas celebration and Zwarte Piet. Nope, this video actually is about me throwing more light on the Sinterklaas celebration and sharing with you guys why it's still a subject of controversy, okay? My intention actually is to share the different opinions that people have regarding this topic and let you see that all these opinions that people have may seem right depending on how you look at it or the angle you look at it from, okay? Okay guys, so to be able to maintain a neutral ground regarding this topic and not take any sides, okay, I've decided to get some help. So I'll be introducing two of my alter egos, so they will still be me, okay? But we'll have one of my alter ego saying that Sinterklaas celebration and Zwarte Piet is racist and should have no place in the modern Dutch society, okay? And I'll have another alter ego who has a different opinion, and this opinion is that Sinterklaas celebration and Zwarte Piet is not racist, has no racism intention, and should remain in the Dutch society today. So guys, I will be introducing the first alter ego called Fina. Fina here is playing the role of a black Dutch girl who was born in the Netherlands and has been part of this celebration, the Sinterklaas celebration and Zwarte Piet, from childhood. Fina has a different opinion now and believes that Zwarte Piet is racist and should have no place in the modern Dutch society. She's also playing the role of an anti-Zwarte Piet activist, okay? So yeah, Fina, can you say hi? Hi guys, I'm Fina and I'm glad to be here and really excited to be having this conversation. Now we have Jayce, okay? Jayce is equally Dutch. She's a white Dutch girl who was born in the Netherlands. Actually, Fina and Jayce were classmates growing up, okay? They went to the same school. They were kind of pretty much in the same neighborhood. So Jayce has a totally different opinion about this same celebration. Jayce thinks that the Zwarte Piet figure is not racist, has no racism intention, and should remain in the Dutch society, okay? So yeah, Jayce, can you say hi? Hi everyone, my name is Jayce. I'm really excited to be here and to have this conversation with you guys. Okay guys, so before I even begin to ask Fina here and Jayce about their personal opinion regarding this topic, I just want to start out with saying what my own experience has been as an African girl who moved into the Netherlands in 2019, okay? I didn't even know what Zwarte Piet or Sinterklaas celebration was prior to my arriving to the Netherlands. Yeah, call me dumb, call me whatever, but I didn't know about this celebration. I didn't know anything about it, okay? So I moved to the Netherlands in 2019, and I remember that my school, TU Delft, had a group of people, yeah, who came around in school and shared some gifts during the Sinterklaas celebration. So these guys were white and they were not dressed in any way or form like the Black Pete that we know. And yeah, so I didn't know that there was anything actually called Black Pete. I think it was after the celebration that I started seeing random posts online about, you know, Black Pete, why it has no place in the modern society and everything. So that was my first experience, yeah, hearing about this. And I personally had to start finding out or asking questions and doing my own personal research to know more about this tradition, why this celebration still exists, why it's such a subject of controversy, and why we have people at two opposite ends of opinion. Some strongly believe that it's racist and some strongly believe that it has nothing racist about it. Okay, before we get into this video, guys, don't forget to like, comment below your opinion regarding this topic, and please, guys, I'm gonna remind you to please remain respectful. And I know that this is a sensitive topic, but I would prefer you guys to air your opinion respectfully. Okay, I would like to start out with talking about the history of Sinterklaas celebration and Black Pete. Okay, guys, please bear in mind that every source that I have used for this video will be linked in the description box. Okay, the Dutch St. Nicholas holiday or Sinterklaas holiday is celebrated on December 5th every year. Dutch people gather for parades in which the Saint, which is called Sinterklaas, arrives in town to hand out candy and gifts. In Dutch tradition, Sinterklaas has a helper called Zwarte Piet, also known as Black Pete, who usually appears as a black face character with large gold earrings and exaggerated lips. I'm going to put a picture here so you guys can understand what we're talking about. In the weeks leading up to the Saint's name day every year, Sinterklaas and his Black Petes, or what we call Zwarte Piet, arrive on a steamship in a selected city where thousands of excited children await them. Their arrival and welcoming parade are broadcast on national television. The kids have long awaited this event because it means that they will receive presents and candy in the weeks leading up to the night of December 5th. The kids believe that these gifts come from Sinterklaas, whose Black Petes deliver them through the chimney. Once children reach a certain age, parents reveal that Sinterklaas is not real and that the presents came from them. Okay? Kids are so innocent, guys. So most Dutch people have cherished childhood memories of Sinterklaas, and they do not see the holiday as problematic in any way. However, this is different from many black Dutch citizens who recall how they were bullied as children and adults being called Zwarte Piet, or asked after December 5th or asked after December 6th, what are you still doing? Did Sinterklaas forget you? I would like to state clearly that I do not think that the Sinterklaas celebration in itself is a subject of controversy. What makes this celebration really controversial is the character Black Pete, or Zwarte Piet in Dutch. So guys, before I give the floor to JC, who I would like to start up with, I will want to talk about the history of the Zwarte Piet character. How did it even come into play? Why is it even part of the Dutch tradition? And how did it get to this point? What is the history? In recent times, there has been so many narratives about the history of the Black Pete character, which is very normal because, like, I mean, there are so many characters in history with different writers at different times having different like stories or different tales concerning those characters. So I don't find it surprising that the Black Pete character also has like multiple tales surrounding it. However, the Black Pete character, as we celebrate today in the Netherlands, stems from an 1850 book by an Amsterdam school teacher. His name was Jan Schenkman. Now, this Amsterdam school teacher depicted Black Pete in his book as a Moor, as a black Moor from Spain, who serves as a helper for St. Nicholas. Okay? Now, bear in mind that this school teacher wrote his book during the time of colonialism. There's a popular myth that holds that Black Pete is black because he comes down the chimney and that the soot of the chimney makes him black. This, however, does not explain his tightly coiled hair, his thick red lips, his golden hoop earrings, his childish, athletic or dumb behavior, and his use of broken Dutch or a black accent. Nor does it clarify why his clothes have no soot stains or why they are the typical outfit of a black domestic child slave in a specific era of the Dutch history. Neither does it explain why the Black Peets are already black when they arrive on the STEM ship in November before having gone down any chimney. It doesn't explain, does it? No. Okay. So we've talked a little bit about the celebration of Sinterklaas and the history of Black Pete. I'm going to give the floor to Jayce here to tell us why she thinks that Black Pete's character is not racist and should remain part of the Dutch society today. Thank you, Josephine, for giving me this opportunity. Actually, I'm very excited to be here and to have this conversation. And yeah, so here's my opinion. Really, it really hurts or confuses me when I hear people say that Zwarte Piet is racist. Zwarte Piet is racist? We never saw Zwarte Piet as racist as kids. I mean, it was just an innocent character who gave us sweets and made us really happy. How is Zwarte Piet racist? Yeah, I've heard some people say that some kids are called Zwarte Piet in school by bullies. But the honest truth is that there are bullies everywhere, regardless of the country or school. Whether you're in Netherlands or you're not in Netherlands, you will find bullies. And this has nothing to do with the Zwarte Piet character, but everything to do with the bully who is bullying the child. If the bully doesn't call the child Zwarte Piet, the bully will find another name to call the child. And just because a bully calls a black child Zwarte Piet doesn't automatically mean that the Zwarte Piet character is racist. I'm sick and tired of people of color playing the racism card at any topic that they do not agree with. Everything is not about racism, okay? Yes, I'm white. I may not understand what it feels like dealing with the history of slavery. But I know that not everything or every topic is born out of a racist intention. Zwarte Piet was not created with a racist intention, neither was it created to caricature the black race. Zwarte Piet was a boy Moor from Spain who became St. Nicholas' helper. And in our present day, the way that Zwarte Piet is celebrated is strictly on entertainment and to bring joy to the children. Yes, slavery existed as at the time that this story was written and may have been portrayed in this story, but not with a racism intention, but with the intention of telling a story that represented the history that existed at that time. Although these two characters were St. Nicholas, of course, who was the master, and Zwarte Piet, who was the helper, but the truth is that this story talks about these two people as partners. The story doesn't portray Zwarte Piet as any less than St. Nicholas. No, they are partners that work together to bring joy to the kids. I'm also aware that in the early 1900s, that these two characters, I mean both Sinterklaas and Zwarte Piet, were terrifying, of course, and that the Zwarte Piet was represented as the one who punished children and took the naughty children back to Spain to work in St. Nicholas factory. This 1900 story may have portrayed Zwarte Piet as a character who was feared by children and who would punish the children if they did not do the right thing. But it also portrayed St. Nicholas as the one who gave the order. These two characters, both St. Nicholas and Zwarte Piet, were a bit scary for kids because they punished kids who didn't do the right thing. However, these two characters have been modified over the years. They have been modified to become even more friendly characters. So now you no longer see, they're no longer represented as two horrifying figures that are going to punish children, but rather characters that bring joy and gift and dancing and everything good for the kids during Sinterklaas celebration. Please tell me, where is the racism in this? Where is the stereotyping in this? In a character that brings fun to the kids, where is the racism? Zwarte Piet's character was a Moor from Spain. And does him being a Moor automatically mean that we are being racist? Was slavery not part of our history? Is anything or character with a history of slavery now classified as racist? So it means that we can no longer talk about slavery, because once slavery is brought into a conversation, automatically the person is racist? Is that what you're trying to say? So this is my conclusion. Zwarte Piet is not a racist character. It's just a character that is being played during Sinterklaas celebration. Their role is basically to bring sweet and gifts, dance around and bring joy to the kids. When we were kids, you can ask Fina. Fina here, when we were kids, we never saw Zwarte Piet as racist. So I'm here actually to hear from Fina. Fina needs to explain to me how is Zwarte Piet racist? We grew up together in the same city. We celebrated Zwarte Piet. Both of us as kids, we were always very excited, looking forward to, get the gifts and the nice things and the excitement that Zwarte Piet came. Did we think Zwarte Piet as racist as kids? Did we even know what racism was as kids? Ask Fina. We grew up together in the same community. Did we know what racism was? We grew up together, respecting each other, understanding that we are all different, understanding that yes, Fina is a bit colored and I'm white, but we are all human beings and we tolerate each other and love each other. And we always looked forward to Zwarte Piet, always looked forward to the Sinterklaas celebration because of the gifts and all the excitements that it brings. So I feel like taking Zwarte Piet out of this celebration is just about robbing children of their excitement with no justification. So that's my opinion on this matter, and I'm actually curious to hear what Fina has to say. Okay guys, I think that JC has a point there, and I find her points really interesting and quite valid, I must say. But now is the time for us to hear from Fina and to hear what she thinks and why she thinks that the Black Piet character is racist and has no place in the Dutch modern society today. Okay, Fina, the floor is yours. So I'm going to start by talking about slavery, talking about racism, and the role that storytelling played in fueling racism in the world that we live in today. Because I believe that maybe by sharing these opinions, JC here and other people who are like her can understand where we're coming from when we say that the Black Piet character is definitely racist and has no place whatsoever in the Dutch society of today. One cannot talk about racism without our history of slavery. Slavery existed, I agree. And let's not forget that slavery was born out of the ideology that one race was less human than the other. Now, this particular race for centuries were dehumanized and abused. And that's not even the most disheartening part of this story. So the disheartening thing is not that slavery existed, is the part that storytelling has played in presenting this history of slavery. After slavery was abolished, okay, the white man created their own version or narrative of this history and sold it to their younger generations, making their younger generations ignorant, I mean, of the role that they played in this history. They created a narrative that wipes out the monstrous roles that they played and portrays the white man as the hero of the story and the black man the slave, and the one who should be grateful that slavery no longer exists. Hold on, I know you'll be wondering, where am I getting with this? But I just want you to stay with me. You will understand where I'm coming from when I say the role that storytelling has played in habitually perpetuating racism into our system and into our world today. These white men built statues to celebrate slave masters and then removed any form of brutality from their own part in the narrative. I strongly believe that the challenge of racism that we face today is not just about slavery that existed, okay? It's the narrative that was portrayed afterwards. It's more or less like the story of the abuser and the abused, where the abuser is celebrated a hero and the abused is shamed. To you, this is just an innocent story. A story of St. Nicholas, who had a helper, a black Moor from Spain, who dances with children and shares gifts to the kids. To you, this is just a story. But to us, it's the same stereotype story created by the white man that follows the same narrative. A white man saving a slave boy, and the slave boy should be grateful to the white man who saved him from the slavery that they created in the first place. It's the same narrative. We are tired of these one-sided stereotype stories. We don't want our history to be wiped out. We are not ashamed of our history. We just want the story of our history to be told more accurately. Black people were a race that survived the highest form of dehumanization in our world today. But we survived that. We survived slavery, rose from the ashes, and have been building ourselves up since then. We've learned to forgive and love the same people that abused and dehumanized us. We have fought for our rights to be treated equally. We have been stereotyped and disrespected and still suffer constitutional racism, because JC was asking, was slavery not part of our history? Is it that any character or any story associated with the history of slavery is now termed racist? That was our question. And my response to JC is this. You pick and choose what you want to have on display regarding our history. If you want to remind us of slavery and the dehumanization of our race, then portray it correctly. Let the event show the true nature of slavery and how the slave masters were the abusers, the pedophiles, the rapists, and the murderers who made money by dehumanizing and enslaving another race. Don't portray history to our children in a thwarted manner and expect us to say, oh, it's not harmful, it's not racist, it's okay. It is not okay. If you want to celebrate history, then make more public the true history and nature of slavery and the role that the white man played in slavery. Because to you, we may be taking this too far. But this is just a step in the right direction in either retelling a story accurately or taking it out of the modern society, because it doesn't belong there. The only reason black people are targeted with racial abuse and racism is because those targeting them have chosen to be ignorant about the very role that they played in our slavery history. Now, if the story is being accurately portrayed, where the monsters of the story are the slave masters and the hero of the story are the slaves, then I tell you that the black people will not be targeted for racism, because guess what? In the story, we are not the monsters. So it's quite surprising that people here like JC are quick to embrace a lovey-dovey black character without actually looking into the history and understanding that when you dig into people's history, especially when that narrative is not told accurately, that is going to hurt other people. And then they wonder why it hurts us. You're wondering, why are we offended? Why are we offended by this character? They ask us if we are ashamed of our history. My question is, what should we be ashamed of? Should we be ashamed of being forced into slavery, of being abused? Is that what we should be ashamed of? Should we be ashamed of being the victim in this story? What is the storytelling about you? What are our children told about the history and the role that the Dutch people played in colonialism and slavery? It was just in 2002, after a push had gone up for over 10 years, it was just in 2002 that we had a national monument for the history of slavery. Just in 2002. So this is the monument that is supposed to tell us or to explain what we went through. The reality of slavery is not just about a St. Nicholas who moved to the Netherlands with a slave on his back. The reality of slavery is that Dutch white people owned slaves, where colonial masters partook in the abusing and dehumanization of a race. That is the history that his children should be aware of, so that they can avoid the same mistakes that their forefathers made by being racist themselves. So you can't just say it's an innocent story when the story follows the same stereotype of St. Nicholas, who is a white man, being a saint and having slaves who are Moors. Okay? It perpetuates that stereotype, the stereotype that black people are second-class citizens to the white man, who is of course a saint. I am black and I am Dutch too. And if we are to cohabit together in this country, then we have to respect each other's history and each other's boundaries. We don't want our slavery past being portrayed to children, especially when it is inaccurately portrayed. Thank you, guys. Okay, JC, so now that you've heard from Fina and you've heard her own opinion about this character, can you relate with anything that she said here? And do you think that she has some points, or some of her points are valid? Yeah, I've heard from Fina, and I can't lie and say I understand where she's coming from. And to be honest, I still don't get the reason why Black Pete is racist. Just like I said earlier, I may never understand how she feels because I'm white. I may never understand how she feels. But my point here still remains that there is no justification to say that Zwarte Piet is racist and so should be taken out of the Sinterklaas celebration. In my opinion, there is still no justification for that. Yes, Zwarte Piet may have a racist history, but it is not in any way racist in the way that it's being celebrated in our world today. I'm also open to maybe modifying the character in a way that it is not as offensive as it is to the people of color right now. I am very open to have the chimney Pete or whatever character that makes it a bit less offensive to the people of color. In this video, I hope I'm able to make clear that the way Zwarte Piet is celebrated in the Netherlands in our world today is not racist and has no racist intention whatsoever. It's just a fun character for kids during Christmas, and that's it. Trying to say that this character is harmless and yeah, it's just an innocent character is harmless. But we are out here saying that it is not harmless, okay? Our children are being called Zwarte Piet in school. Our parents are being called Zwarte Piet. If a certain character is harmless, why is it used as a provocative word? Why do they call black kids Zwarte Piet? To provoke them if he's an innocent character. Think about all these things and don't just sit down and just say, oh, it's our tradition, we can't change it. Oh, these people that came to my country to tell us what to do. I didn't come to your country to tell you what to do. I'm Dutch, okay? I am Dutch. Just because I'm black doesn't make me less of a Dutch than you are. So don't say I came to your country to, no, no, no. I am part of your country, and I'm here saying that the character is offensive to us. So I find it hypocritical that we claim that we are very open-minded and we're very receptive and we are not racist and everything. But whenever the case of Zwarte Piet comes up, we go all defensive. We want to... It's just hypocritical, in my opinion. A few years ago, women didn't even have equal rights as men. Women didn't even earn the same amount of money as men. But today, that tradition, that culture no longer exists. Refusing to acknowledge that this character is actually hurting a certain population or a certain race amongst your population is, to me, is just hypocritical, because to me you're saying one thing and you're doing completely another. Okay? Yeah, that's my opinion on this topic. Thank you so much, Josephine, for giving me the floor. Hope you both understand that the aim of this meeting and discussion is not for us to choose who is right or wrong. You're not just here arguing to be right. You're here stating your points and wanting to be understood. Okay? Okay, yeah, let's just play around a little bit. JC, what's your favorite food? Yeah, my favorite Dutch meal is stampot, of course. Heel lekker. Stampot, stampot, stampot. And you, Fina, what's your favorite food? I love stampot. It's my favorite meal. Heel lekker. You see? What's your favorite football club? Of course, my favorite football club of all time is Ajax. Of course, guys. I mean, my favorite football club, of course, is Ajax. Ajax, of course. Like, oh, 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 hey, hey, hey. You see, guys, that there are some things you guys agree on, okay? Remember that just because you disagree on this topic doesn't make you two enemies. I want you guys to understand. You can't live your life like threatening each other and fighting each other just because you disagree on one topic, okay? There's so many topics and so many aspects of this beautiful country that you agree on. So all I have to say here is that we have to be willing to be patient with each other and willing to compromise to an extent, okay? Thank you guys for this interview and have a lovely day, okay? Let me continue with my subscribers. Yeah, bye guys. This is the end of this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, hope you enjoyed this conversation, and hope you were able to learn one or two things regarding this topic and why people have different opinions regarding this topic. The aim of this video, as I said earlier, is not for me to take sides as to where I stand regarding this topic. The aim of this video was actually to throw more light as to why people have different opinions and why these opinions may seem valid to some sets of people depending on the way they kind of see things, okay? So yeah, that's the end of this video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and consider subscribing to my channel. I'm a new YouTuber and I'm trying to build my channel, so all your love and support will mean so much to me, guys. And yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about this topic. So guys, I'm going to remind you again to please stay respectful, to air your opinions in a very respectful manner, and to be a bit more understanding and accommodating, okay? So guys, yeah, thank you so much for watching and see you in my next one. Bye.